Hey everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to create a Laurel Burch inspired cat using fantasy colors and fun patterns. So when we say fantasy colors, you can probably guess that we're talking about colors that we wouldn't normally find on a cat. So fun rainbow colors is really what we're looking for. And patterns. A pattern, as we've talked about in class, is really just any line or shape that's been repeated over and over again. You could also do it with colors. So that's what we'll be doing today. If you have not already, I recommend that you look up this artist, Laurel Burch, online and look at her fantasy cats. She does cats that look very similar to this, with the fantasy colors and all the fun patterns. So this is where the inspiration came from. Some materials that you'll need for this project. You'll need markers if you have them. If not, you can use crayons, pencil, and just a plain piece of paper. Make sure it's white. It can be the back of some scrap paper if you want, but you just need to have one side of paper that is just plain white. All right, so how will you know that you did a good job on this project? Number one, does your artwork have at least 2 different patterns? Remember, patterns are just any kind of line or shape or color that repeats. Number 2, is your artwork interesting? Would people want to stop and look at it? And number 3, is your artwork neat? Did you scribble or did you take your time? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you'll need to do is draw the head, and we don't want a little itty bitty head. That's not what we want. So we want to make sure our head is nice and big, about that big. And remember, when we're using the pencil, that we draw light to make it right. If you draw too heavy, or too hard, it's going to be hard to erase if you need to. And sometimes it can be tricky drawing a circle. If you want to trace a circle onto your paper, that'd be fine. So I created this lesson for kindergarten through 3rd graders. Kindergarten and 1st grade might need mom and dad's help to draw the body of the cat. And then the student could color it and, put the different patterns in it. But 2nd and 3rd graders, you can draw this yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. The head. We want it to be about this big. No smaller than that. And I didn't draw very hard, did I? I drew lightly. So after we're done with that, we want to draw the body. We're going to draw a curved line starting about here and all the way down to the bottom of the page. Now, my cat's kind of going to be a little bit on the skinny side, but you could make your cat a bigger cat if you want and start your line out here. You could make a really big cat. Maybe I'm going to do that. So my cat this time is going to be a little bit wider. So that one was a little bit skinnier, but all cats are different, so that's okay. After you draw the body, we want to draw the ears. So a straight line, straight diagonal line, and another diagonal line. Leave some space, and then draw another one just like that. After you're done with the ears, you're going to need eyebrows. These right here. So starting about in the middle of the face and a little bit over. So you put your finger right in the middle of the face and then just a little bit over from the middle. Draw a curved line like that. And then on the other side, draw the same thing but going the opposite direction. All right, so now we're ready for the eyes. The almond-shaped eyes. So you're going to draw a curved line like that and a curved line like that. Same thing on the other side. Curved line like that. Curved line like that. Kind of looks like a football too. Football or almond. Then we want to draw the inside of the eye, the iris. So we're going to do that. We're not going to put the pupils in yet. We're going to do that later. So let's hold off on that. But we will draw this part. Curved line, curved line, curved line, curved line. Now we need to draw the nose. So we are going to connect these two lines, boop, just like that. And then diagonal line, diagonal line. So you just drew an upside down triangle that connected your eyebrows together. So now we need to draw the lips. We're basically going to draw a W. So we're going to start here at the bottom of our triangle and we're going to curve up. This is a really curvy W. And then we're going to come down again and then curve up. All right, so we're good on the face. If you notice on this one, he has whiskers, but we're going to wait on the whiskers until the very end. So don't put those on yet. All right, oh, one other thing. So there's a couple different styles. This cat has his belly, looks like this with the curve line. I'm going to do this one a little bit different, but you are welcome to do it either way, or if you have a different way, you can do it a different way. But I think for this guy, I'm going to do some stripes on the side. So basically all I'm doing is drawing a curved line, another curved line, comes to a nice point. Curved line comes to a nice point. You could put another one on there on either side. But whatever you do on one side, make sure you do on the other. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with how the drawing's looking. I'm going to start to draw some patterns on there now. So, as I showed you before, these are some different examples of patterns. Okay, and before we do patterns though, let's review some different types of lines, because remember, a lot of patterns are made up of a line that's been repeated over and over. So you could do a spiral line, a dotted line, a bunch of diagonal lines, dashed line, a line made up of X's, zigzag, and remember, with our zigzags, let's take our time so that they're nice and pointy. We don't want them turning into a line that looks like this. So make sure your zigzags are nice and pointy. A little T or a plus line, a loopy or curvy line, a wavy line, and we'll call that a humpy line. So those are some different types of lines, and we could, if you look over here, this is just a wavy line repeated over and over again. This line right here. And you notice my line starts all the way at the edge and then touches the other edge. So don't just draw a little bit of one in the middle. You want it to go all the way and touch both sides. But you can also make patterns by repeating shapes. So I repeated circles there, triangles. Yeah, I think those are the only shapes that I have on there. But something that made this pattern and this pattern interesting is I was doing lines that were going all different direction. It was the same line, it was just going in all different ways, which creates kind of some movement and makes it look fun, almost like sprinkles. And then these triangles were done very similarly, where all the triangles are facing different directions. They're all going different ways. I didn't draw them all like this, where they're all lined up. I think it's a little bit more fun when they're scattered like that. But you could line them up if you want. If you find a good way to do it, go ahead. All right, so what do I want to do? I think, well, first of all, I'd like to add some little triangles inside of my cat's ears. And I think that I want to do some wavy lines going down the middle of my cat. I like that. That's good. And then maybe I'll do some circles inside those two, and then maybe down here again. And maybe I'll do some dashed lines in here. Okay, that's good. So I feel pretty satisfied with my patterns at this point. So we're ready to start using our markers now. If you don't have markers, that's okay. You can use crayons. If you don't have anything to color with, then you can just leave it just like that. Now in class, when we use permanent markers, a Sharpie, we outline first. But not everybody has a Sharpie, so we're not going to use a Sharpie today. And when we don't use Sharpies and we use this type of black marker instead, which is washable, we wait until the end to use this. So we use all of our bright, beautiful colors first and color it in, and then we'll outline everything with the black afterwards. All right, so I want to see a lot of different colors changing frequently on your artwork. We're not going to use these because remember, we're using fantasy colors, and those are just kind of earthy colors, colors that you would see a lot typically in a cat, but this is a crazy cat. This cat is not from this world, lives in a fantasy world, so we are going to make him super bright and colorful. So I think I'm going to start with some orange. Make sure when you're not using the lid of your marker, just put it on the top. And I am going to color maybe this section orange. So I'll color that in orange. Maybe I want that ear orange too. And I'm going to be nice and neat. Now, you will be going over your pencil lines, so you'll have to look kind of hard later to find the lines again, but if you look close enough, you'll be able to see them, because we don't want to forget to trace those in the end. Now I'm going to switch to a new color. I think now I want to use, let's use red. I think I want this section of red to be a little bit bigger than the orange. So I'm going to color in all of that. So I outline the section first, and then I color it in. Whoops, forgot to outline my eye. maybe I'll do a little bit of yellow over here. And we'll do this part purple. And we'll do the nose green. But do you see how I'm changing colors often? We don't want to use the same color the whole time. These cats are not typical cats. So now I want to think about the fur. What color do I want to do the fur? I think that I'm going to start with some pink. I'm going to outline this section right here, pink. Now I'm going to color these stripes a different color. And maybe I'll do a little bit more pink down here. All right, time to switch colors. Now let's do some blue. And we'll make this section over here blue too. Taking my time outlining my sections. And I think that I am going to color the irises of my cat's eyes blue too. Not going to put the pupil in. Remember, the pupil is that black dot. We're not going to do that yet. So do not use your black yet. We still have to color in this pattern and all of those stripes on the side. So I think for this pattern going down, I want it to be like fire. So I'm going to use some red, all the warm colors, and orange, I use yellow, maybe even some pink. Now, with the darker color, it gets a little bit harder to see your pencil lines, but they're there. I can still see them. I can't wait to start outlining everything in black. That really pulls everything together and makes it look really nice. All right, so now I need to decide how I want to do those stripes. Now, something important to remember is you don't want to use a color, you know, two colors next to each other that are the same. So I would not want to use pink. That would not be a good choice for this. And over here, I don't want to use blue. So I need to be thinking about that. It's very important with this project. It helps everything stand out when you choose to use different colors next to each other. I think I'm going to do some green. We'll do green here. I'm going to trace those circles first. And just to give my cat some unity and some symmetry, we're going to do the same thing down here. However I color these stripes on this side, I think I'm going to do the same on that side. Now, my cat doesn't have symmetry everywhere, but I think I'd like to have it on the stripes. So, yep, trace those. Okay, now I want to color them. Taking my time so I don't get inside those circles. It's a little tricky, but you can do it. I have faith in you. Almost done with the green. Need to start thinking about what color I want to use for those last two with the dashed lines. I know that I won't use blue here, and I know that I won't use blue or pink here because this is touching two colors. But I told you that I wanted to have the stripes symmetrical with the colors, so I need to make sure and choose something that will work on both sides. And I think that I want to use yellow. You have to be very careful when you're coloring with the yellow because yellow really likes to smear. So if I accidentally got into this pink, I could pull it down into the yellow. So you want to really make sure and just stay in the white section when you're coloring because we don't want to pull that yellow into that spot. All right, so now we are ready for tracing with our black marker. So put your lid on the back and start tracing. Take your time. And this is when you're going to have to search, because we had a lot of little details and lines in there that we can't see as well because we covered it up with marker. But if we look close, I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. And you'll see it when you're doing it. So we got to make sure our cat has some eyebrows, because the eyebrows actually turn into part of the nose. So that's really important. He needs that. Trace his nose and his mouth. You can bring that all the way up if you want, or you can leave it looking like a W. That's up to you. Trace his almond or football shaped eyes. And now, if you want, you can add a little black dot for people. And you can add dots here and some whiskers that go out. Cat's whiskers are pretty long, so I would make them go out past his face. They're even a little bit past his body here. So now I need to trace the body. Oh, I did see something that I forgot to color. The inside of those circles. So I'm going to do that really fast. I think I want to use, what color do I want to use? Let's use pink. Okay, that's good. Let's trace our wavy line pattern. And trace our stripes on the side of our cat. Okay. The one thing I'm not tracing, remember how we colored different sections of color inside? I'm not going to trace those lines. I'm only tracing those lines that we drew with our pencil. Just our pencil lines. We don't want to have too many lines or our artwork will be too busy. We want to have places for our eyes to rest. And it's done. Now we've completed our Laurel Burch inspired fantasy cats. I hope you enjoyed it.